So I think that's a great idea, and I'm very happy to be associated with you guys, the founders of Octave, and I think you're approaching it from the right perspective. There is only so much that you can ask the faculty on campus to do, because there are so many things going on outside that you need people from the right places. You need to pick them and get them to the students where the knowledge is required.
Very good.
Shashikant, what impact has the Embryo project had so far, and how do you run it?
So, the impact is somewhat intangible, but you can try and measure it in terms of how many lectures are conducted. So far, some of the highlights are we've conducted more than 100 lectures from pretty much all continents, streaming into Pilani. Some lectures have been multi-campus. So, for example, Vivek Paul used to be a partner at TVG. He's a very one of the famous alumni, and his lecture was streamed simultaneously to Pilani and Goa. And I think
Vivek Paul, the CEO of
previous CEO of Embryo. And I think more than 500 students attended that lecture. We've had quite a few lectures. So some of the famous ones are MS PhD, lectures, basically to mentor students for MS PhD applications. And the attendance is like 500, 600, which is huge. And you know how many people turn up for classes. So that is one way of measuring the impact. And we have had lectures ranging from general topics to very hardcore technical mechanical engineering topics also, and many people have appreciated that, and it's still growing. And one of the very important things I would like to talk about is how is it run, which is very important. And the most important thing I feel in running any project, Embryo or whatever, is that it should be run by people who directly benefit from it. So while Alumni started Project Embryo, it was one of our main objectives to make sure that the students on campus run the project, because they are the people who are directly benefiting from it. And I'm very happy to say that we were successful in doing that. So there's actually an Embryo club on campus. There's a faculty in charge. There's an Embryo club on campus, on actually now each of the campuses, which has multiple campuses now. And they take the leadership in actually organizing lectures. Alumni can help them out in finding contacts, but they take the lead in contacting people, arranging the lectures, setting up all the facilities, marketing the lecture, getting students, talking to the right people, and basically conducting it end to end.
Okay, so what I understand is the entire initiative of the students which are on campus.
Yes.
I mean, they will decide what topic or what lectures they want to get and from which alumni. So it's like completely taken over by the student body on campus.
On campus. So there's actually an Embryo club, just like
Alumni is basically a facilitator for them.
And yes, so when we started it, it was pretty much run most fully by the alumni, more or less. And then we gradually, transformed it and handed it over to the students on campus, and they run it completely now. They do it for probably 2 years or so.
Wow.
And it, it sustains.
Great, that's great. Actually, Shashi, after BITS, I also went to Texas A&M for doing my masters, and there I realized that the professors, there are a lot of Indian and Asian professors there, and they also want to reach back to their own countries and do some benefit to the students there, but the problems are logistics and exactly getting there and how to reach the students. So I think a project like this can bridge the gap and make easy access the students and the faculty.
That's completely correct. See, you have to realize that there are many people in the world who want to help, right? And usually, more often than not, people ask them to help monetarily, which they can do only to a little extent.
Right.
But people who are educated, right, they would very much be willing to, in my experience, help by teaching people.
Yeah,
it's free of cost.
That's right.
It takes a little bit of time, and I was surprised how many people are actually passionate about teaching, even though they work as a software engineer or whatever. Right? They're passionate about teaching. They can't teach everything. They can't teach a full course, but they can definitely take 2 or 3 lectures in a special area of interest.
Right.
And you just have to basically connect the right people to the right students.
Shashi, what do you think are the important factors to make a project like Embryo a big success in India?
Well, the primary factor, as I said, I think is the operations. So I think this is in something like this, you're interfacing with people from outside. So this is like client relationship management. You have to be very careful about that. Then there's some technology involved, which is video conferencing, which will definitely go wrong at the right moment. So you have to be very careful about it.
Can you elaborate a bit on this video conferencing or the technical, infrastructure requirements?
There are many video conferencing tools available, so there's nothing new, right? In fact, most of them are free, and the most famous one is Skype. Right?
Yes.
So, but you just have to make sure that you have the right network connection. Right? You're setting up Octave, and you're setting it up from scratch, so you have the opportunity to actually do the right thing from the beginning.
That's why we need to ensure. I mean, we're doing it all new, so we'll ensure that whatever requirements are in place, we'll have everything right from the beginning.
Right, exactly. I mean, technical requirements are not that many. Video conferencing is well known. You can get it from anywhere.
Yes,
So you just set up the right infrastructure, set up the right network, right, and you'll have it working. But on an ongoing basis, you need to have some set of people take care of this, right? And there are two main things. One is something what I would call it as client relationship management. Finding people's contacts, communicating with them. Always remember, they are doing a favor for you.
Exactly.
So you have to approach it from that perspective.
Correct. And we keep on building the network.
Keep on building the network, right? So that they come to you next year also.
Exactly.
And then the other one is, of course, the operations, the day-to-day process, right? Which is make sure that the right people come for the lecture, make sure they ask questions, and things like that, right? So that's what I call operations. I think that's pretty much the most important thing to make this project successful. And of course, in order to do that, there are two other things which are required. One is infrastructure, which is the responsibility of the university, and the second is getting contacts, which could be the responsibility of the alumni or the alumni team in a university like Pilani, or in a new university like Octave, it would be the responsibility of a team of faculty probably.
Yeah, actually, I would like to share an interesting thing. Like amongst us co-founders, we have experienced the teaching patterns of all institutes, like of important institutes like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, SP Jain, and ISB. But nowhere we found such kind of project being implemented and being followed on a regular basis. That's why we believe that we could enhance the power of a project like Embryo right from the beginning of our academic year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we have done some good work in Project Embryo, but there is absolutely no reason why it's limited to Pilani alone. It's a very simple concept, and it requires a lot of passion to just make it operational and run it. And I think Octave has a very good opportunity to actually incorporating this in their curriculum itself. You guys are very well placed, and you have many contacts yourself, and I'm sure you'll be able to connect to many educational institutions, like for example your old professors from Ahmedabad and Lucknow, or even people in the industry, and get them to give lectures, and I'm sure Octave has a very good future.
It's been a pleasure to have you here at Octave and give us such important inputs on Embryo. I'm very sure that students from Octave will definitely benefit from this.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I'll be happy to stay involved in whatever way you're being felt, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Shashi. Thank you.